Again, today I'm going to do number 3. All right. Tonight I want you to do it again. That's what your job is. All right. So here we go. Where does the graph of y equals 3x minus 18 intersect the x-axis? Now, if you forgot, when something intersects the x-axis, I want you to put above that, that's when the y is equal to 0. All right, when something intersects the x-axis, the y value is 0. Now, when the y value is 0, your equation y equals 3x minus 18, 0 equals 3x minus 18. And so now if you solve that, 18 equals 3x. So x is equal to what? The x value is equal to 6. All right, so you have to be careful. If the x value is 6, the answer was C. All right, the answer is C. Does anybody need a further explanation on that? Please listen, please. I know it's a while away, but this is what we're doing. Practice. What? Yes, now if you want, you can graph this on the calculator and physically just look where does it cross the x-axis. All right, and you can clearly see that it crosses the x-axis at 6, 0. All right, so that's good information. But I prefer that you understand what I just said. Does everybody hear me? All right. Now, number 2, it says tickets to see a movie cost $5 for children, $8 for adults. So the equation 5x plus 8y equals 80 represents the number of children and adults. So if no adults attend or no adults see the movie, that means that what variable is 0? What does that mean? Yeah, it just means y is 0. So if y is 0, you have your equation 5x plus 8y equals 80. If your y is 0, that means 5x equals 80. And everybody should be able to solve that pretty good, right? So x is equal to, tell me, 16. Is everybody okay with that? 16. Now listen, I was trying to tell my other class, I have all this work. I should not have more notes on my notability than you do on yours. You should be writing things out. All right, your exam is very important. Because it said over here, look, this is that good question. Adults is the y value. You with me now? And then it tells me the children are the what? The x.
And then you said that the y is always 0.
Well, if no adults go to the movie, then,
okay.
Right? You with me? Right? If I would have said there's 3 adults, then you have to plug 3 in for y. All right. Now the next part. Find the slope. So the formula for the slope was m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Keep in mind, this is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. All right, is everybody with me on this? Everybody good? All right, so now let's figure out what the slope is. So the slope would be 4 minus 7 over negative 1 minus 3. Negative 3 over negative 4, which is the same as what? 3/4. Correct answer, B. All right. Now again, finding the slope. So here we go. Write the formula for practice. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, just to make it a habit, x1, y1, x2, y2. So now y2 minus y1, 2 minus 2 over 6. Now technically it would be 6 minus negative 3. But that makes it what? That makes it plus 3. Not that it matters because it would be 0 over 9. And 0 over anything is, say it again. You got it backwards though. All right, it's 0. All right, it's 0. When you divide by 0, you're undefined. You with me? when you divide. And if you ever have any doubt about that, you can plug it into your calculator. If you plug in on your calculator 0 divided by 9, it'll tell you 0. If you do 9 divided by 0, it'll say error, division by 0. Right? So again, that's just showing you that if you forget, the calculator can tell you. You hear me? All right. So again, the other thing I want you to write down next to this is if your slope is 0, you have a horizontal line. Everybody needs to write that note down. If the slope is 0, you have a horizontal line. If the slope is vertical, what kind of, if your line is vertical, what is the slope for that? Who remembers? Somebody else. Look at your answer choices. Come on.
Undefined.
Undefined. That's the one that's undefined. All right. Remember what I told you? You can't ski down a mountain that has a vertical slope. All right. That's how you can kind of remember that. Anybody have any questions? Any questions? Come on, Cole. Stay focused. All right. Now, again, number 5. What is the slope of any horizontal line? We just talked about that. 0. All right, now let's talk about number 6. It's kind of important. All right, I'm looking for a slope that's -3. Now, why can I easily cross out A and B without doing any work? Those slopes are what? Positive. How do I know they're positive? Because remember, you're going what? Up the mountain here. You're going up the mountain. You're going up the mountain. Now, how do I know I'm going up? Remember, you read numbers from what? Left to right. So C is going what? Down the mountain. Down the mountain. Therefore, those slopes are what? Those slopes are negative, and these slopes are positive. All right. Now, the next thing I want you to write down over here is slope is equal to delta y over delta x. The change in y over the change in x. Now, how does that affect us on C? So everybody take a look quickly at C, and let's talk about the slope, the change. All right, so here we go. Starting at the origin, I went down 1 and over what? And over 3. If I go down 1, you're supposed to recognize delta y would equal -1. If I went to the right 3, delta x is equal to what? 3. So technically, the slope for C is -1/3. All right, so that slope is -1/3, so C is out. So it must be D. But let's again talk about why the fact that it is D. So you would say from here, I'm going down 3 and over 1. So -3, delta x is 1. Anybody have any questions or concerns with that? Any questions or concerns? All right, very, very important. All right, very important. Yes, I'm listening.
In the first number or C, when you went to the 3 box.
Well, you could have picked this one over here too. It still would be the same. You would go down 1 to the right 3.
Okay.
You see that now, right? It doesn't matter where you start. Or it doesn't matter where you start. Okay. So now, everybody look at number 7. All right. In 1996, there were 171 area codes in the United States. In 2007, there were 215. Find the rate of change. So everybody needs to highlight rate of change. All right. Rate of change. That's another word for what? That's another word for slope. Rate of change is slope. All right. So I went from 1996, I had 171, and then in 2007, I had 215. Everybody agreeing with me? And so now it's just the change. So M is equal to 215 minus 171 over 2007 minus 1996. So M is equal to, what's 215 minus 171? I think it's 44.
Yeah, you're right.
And then 2007 minus 1996, I think, is what? 11. All right. And then you reduce that to 4. All right. So the slope, or the rate of change. And what does 4 mean? I want you to write that down. 4 means it's the number of area codes per what? The change in area codes per year. That's what that means. All right. Very important, guys. Yes, ma'am.
So if you're doing y1 over y2 or x
Y2 minus.
But then how can we do 171 minus 2?
It doesn't matter. You would just get the other. You would just get negative 44 over negative 11. Well, 2 negatives make a positive. You with me? Okay. Now on number 8. All right, number 8. This is where we did L1 and L2. All right, so I need everybody on this one to remember you're going to stat, all right, and then you're hitting edit. And then under L1, you type in 1, 2, 3, 4. And then under L2, you type in 8, 14, 20, 26. Everybody needs to do that. And then once you do that, you then need to go stat, and then you go over to calc, and then you go down to linear regression. And then you hit enter all the way through. All right? And then I want someone to tell me what the equation is that you came up with. So you got to go back to stat edit and make sure that you type in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you type in 8, 14, 20, 26. Yes, enter each time. What is it? I know, so what's the equation? Y equals 8x. Is it? So is it 8x plus? I don't think it's 8x. Hey, what did you get? Yeah. So I know. So what's the equation is what I'm asking you. 6x plus 2. That should be the equation. Y equals 6x plus 2. What? Then you go back to stat again, calc, go over to calc and down to linear regression, and then hit enter all the way through. What? That's because you deleted instead of.
I have that happen. 1 8 plus EX plus EX.
Don't delete it. What? The first one. You got it? Okay. Now, it says, how many seats are in the 12th row? Well, you have to keep in mind that the 12th row is the x value. So you plug 12 in for x. And when you plug 12 in for x, you get what? 74. Did you do it? Now did you keep a line? Stat. Stat. How? I'm not sure what you're doing. Now, linear regression. Number 4. Enter all the way through. That's what we're doing. Okay. Now, question number 9. We didn't really do direct variation, so you can just put omit on this question. All right, omit's okay. All right, now on question 10, I need everybody to take a quick look at number 10. All right, the problem here is that if you're not careful, you're going to misidentify the axis. Look right here. This is the y-axis. And then this right here is the x-axis. You have to be careful, please. It's easy to make a mistake on that. Is everybody with me? Right? This is the y-axis here. Make sure you see it properly, or you'll mess the next problems up. This is the x-axis. All right? Now, what I need everybody to do is I need to go to the y-intercept. Where is the y-intercept -2? So I need everybody to find that on the graph. Where is the y-intercept -2? I think it's right there. And so that line, what line is that on?
P.
That line is on P. So that is correct. Now, which line is y equals 2x plus 4? Well, I need everybody to make sure you write over here, this is the what? The y-intercept is 4. So now what I want you to do is I want you to go find where the y-intercept is 4. The y-intercept is 4 is right there. Does everybody see that? It's kind of hard. The y-intercept is 4 is right there. What letter is that, or what line is that? L. All right, so that is L. Well, because I drew, that's the only one, that's that line. Do you agree or not?
No, I do.
So there's the letter right there.
But if you're going, then you go back to that.
What about what?
Because if you're trying to find.
Yeah, well, the point is there's only one y-intercept of 4. There's only one line that has a y-intercept of 4. So it didn't matter what anything else was. You with me? It didn't matter what the slope was. All right, now for question 12, standard form. I need everybody to remember that standard form is ax plus by equals c. So everybody needs to make yourself a note. That is standard form. Standard form means x and y has to be on the same side. All right, so I'm going to write this down. The original problem now is y plus 1 equals -2x minus 3. Now, the -2x is not in the right spot. The -2x is not in the right spot, so I have to move it over to the left. When I move it over to the left, it becomes what? Positive. So it becomes 2x plus y. Now, the other thing that's in the wrong spot here is the 1. So if I move the 1 to the other side, it becomes what? -1, but there's already a -3 over there, so that means the total is what? -4. So the correct answer here had to be what? Had to be A. Has to be A. All right, like I said, guys, a lot of information. A lot of information. All right. Now for question 13. Here we have an X and a Y. All right, or in this case, A and B. So in this case, we know that B is -5. So all we're doing is we're plugging -5 in for B. So 3A is equal to -2 times -5 minus 7. 3A equals 10 minus 7. 3A equals 3. So A is equal to what?
1.
There you have it. Does anybody have any questions with that? Any questions with A equals 1? All right, now 14. Again, we're just practicing the slope. What is the slope formula again? M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Come on, Hanson. I'm looking up and you're daydreaming. I'm on a problem. I'm asking you to do the work. All right, let's go. Stop daydreaming. Now, most of the time, the numbers here are small, so you really shouldn't need your calculator that much either. All right, so here we go. Y2, 16 minus 9 over -3 minus 1. 16 minus 9 is what? -3 minus 1. So my answer has to be what? Has to be A. Any questions? Any questions? All right, 15. Here we go again. I want you to write down M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 3 minus 3 over 5 plus 4. 0 over 9, which is what? 0. Again. 0. All right. Now, for question 16, please type that in on the calculator real quick. Let's go. Type it in. Now remember, you clear a list. You don't delete the list, or there's a problem. Clear the list. Clear the list. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be free-spirited and all that good stuff, but that's not what we're doing here. Sit up like you got some sense. All right? I don't care about the answer. I care about your attitude. All right? I don't want someone walking in here seeing you like that. It's embarrassing. Maybe not to you, but to me. What did you get? I'm listening. Yes, I think that's correct. Y equals 8x plus 14. Remember, practice typing it in. If you didn't get it, you didn't type it in correctly, let me know. But you definitely need to know how to use the calculator. Definitely need to know how to use the calculator. Anybody issues? All right. Now, for whatever reason, some kids didn't even realize linear just means the equation of a what? Line. That's it. So if you had to pick A, B, C, or D, which one of those is the line? We have never done anything with x squared and y squared, so that's definitely out. We've never done anything with x squared, so that's definitely out. C, x times y, we've never done. The only possible is here. Again, that is standard form of an equation of a line. Standard form of the equation of a line. You should be fine with that. Any questions with 17? All right, now we're looking at 18. The slope is positive. Do you agree? So I know it can't be what? Very good. That's what I need you to be able to do. Now, the y-intercept is 0. So let's find the y-intercept for B is 0. Now, they want a slope of 2/3, which means I would have to go up 2 and over 3. So it's not B. So the correct answer has to be what? D. Up 2 over 3. Take a look at that. Make sure you're good. Take a look at that. Make sure you're okay with that. Any questions on graphing that line? All right, let's go on. Moving on. Okay, now what's nice about number 19 is that you got to remember to put it into y equals mx plus b form. So think about it now. Y equals mx plus b. That's what we're doing. Y equals mx plus b. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move x to the other side. When I move x to the other side, it becomes what? Negative. So I have negative 2y is equal to negative x plus 4. Now I have to divide everything through by what? Negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. So y is equal to, hopefully you can see that's 1/2 x minus 2. 1/2 x minus 2. Now again, I want to just double check and verify if you're looking at your y-axis, just to make sure I'm not making a mistake, and my x-axis. And I'm looking for a line that has a y-intercept of what? A y-intercept of negative 2. Well, there's only one. Does everybody see that? So this is your y-intercept of negative 2. So the only possibility there is what? P. All right, now question number 20. To write the equation of the line, what is the y-intercept for number 20? What is the y-intercept? Tell me. 0. The y-intercept is 0. All right, because the y-intercept is 0, it can't be b and it can't be c. Now, is that slope positive or negative? Negative. So it can't be what? A. It had to be D. Now, how do I know it's negative x? Because if you're looking at the slope, I went down 1, and then I went what? To the right 1. So delta y is negative 1, delta x is 1. All right, that's how I knew the slope was negative 1. All right, I'm listening. Go.
How did you know the up B and C?
Because look, the y-intercept is 1. The y-intercept is 1. If the y-intercept was 1, it'd be plotted right there. You see it now?
Yeah.
All right. So now, 21 should be pretty easy if you're paying attention earlier. Which of the following has a graph that is a vertical line? Which one is it? Now, again, vertical lines are always x equal. Horizontals is always y equals. So again, it's all right to miss it. If you forgot, just write it down now. Vertical lines are always x equals. Horizontal lines are always y equals. All right? Vertical lines are always x equals. X equals just a number. Horizontal lines are always y equals a number. All right, they're special cases. All right, now we're going to talk about number 22. All right, if I'm looking at 22, I want everybody to remember we're not allowed to have fractions. So I want everybody to take this, put a bracket here, and I'm going to have to multiply everything through by what? 3. So when I multiply everything through by 3, multiply this side by 3, it will be 3y minus 21 equals, now I'm going to do negative 2, and I'm just going to write this step out just to make sure you remember. This 3 and this 3 cancels. Now I'm distributing the negative 2. When I distribute the negative 2, it would be negative 2x minus 2. And then this would be 3y minus 21. Now I want what? I want to move the negative 2x to the left side. When I move negative 2x to the left side, it becomes what? So it would be 2x plus 3y. And now the one that's out of place now is the negative 21. When I move the negative 21 over, it becomes a positive 21. So it equals 19. Thank you very much. Yes, 2x plus 3y equals 19. All right. Now, which of the value r gives the line passing through a slope of 3/2? So again, your slope, 3 over 2, is equal to negative 4 minus 2 over r minus 3. Does everybody see that? All right, this was the hard question. All right, now you have to simplify. 3 over 2 equals negative 6 over r minus 3. Now when you're doing a proportion, all right, you're cross multiplying. So 3 times r minus 3 equals 2 times negative 6. Just to show you the steps, Connor. Now from there we're going to distribute. So that would be 3r minus 9 equals negative 12. Add 9. 3r is equal to yeah, I wrote negative 16. Thank you. So when I add 9, it becomes negative 3. So r equals negative 1. So the correct answer, B. Thank you. All right. Now, what is the y-intercept? So again, we're going to take this equation and solve it for y. So 3x minus 2y equals negative 6. We're going to put it into y equals mx plus b. So I need to move the 3x over. When I move the 3x over, it becomes negative 2y equals negative 3x minus 6. Then divide by what?
2.
Divide by negative 2. So y is equal to 3/2 x plus 3. The y-intercept is 3. All right, so my correct answer was D. All right. And now one last time for slope. M equals 5 minus 5 over 5 minus 0. Again, 0 over 5, which is what? 0. So correct answer here is A. All right? None